Hey guys, my name is Matimo, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you, the viewer, can submit your gaming-related questions, and then I will give my humble opinion on them. To get the formalities out of the way real quick, if you would like to submit your own question that could be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below, or by sending me a Facebook and Twitter message. The first question for today comes from WordDig, and it is, now that Battlefield 1 has been revealed, what are the things that you are most excited about? Well, other than the horses, I would say that I'm most excited for a focus or a return to skill. Now you might be thinking, what do you mean a return or focus on skill? The Battlefield franchise has always kind of been known for the skill involved. Well, what I like about the World War I era is that there wasn't the amount of technology that we have today. It was much more primitive. You did not have the UCAV or the XM25 airburst that we see in Battlefield 4. There weren't lock-on missiles. It just wasn't invented back then. And so what I like about this from a gameplay standpoint is that you are really going to have to rely on your skills with the weapon that you have. Take advantage of the strengths, avoid the weaknesses to be successful. I don't really like lock-on weapons in most first-person shooters, and I especially don't like it in the more recent Battlefield games with the aerial combats. I understand why it's there from a balance perspective, but I've never thought to myself when I was in an attack helicopter, oh, hot damn, that guy with the Stinger missile sure outplayed me. It's like, no, he locked onto me with a Stinger missile, he fired and forgot, and then he did an insane amount of damage. I don't find that system to be all that enjoyable. And while I'm not trying to say that every single weapon needs to require an insane amount of skill if you want to be successful. Like, I don't think that Battlefield 1 needs to be the most hardcore Battlefield ever created. It's okay that some guns are better than others. I think what I just like about the World War era is that it is more about shooting the enemy. It's what I love about first-person shooters. It isn't about lock-on missiles. It's not about using the XM25 airburst to kill someone around the corner or kill someone from across the map with a UCAV where they have no time to respond. It's about the weapon that you have in your hands and shooting the enemy. And I think that's what I'm most excited about. That and the horses, of course. The next question comes from Brad, and it is, what are your thoughts on Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remaster only being included with the special editions and needing Infinite Warfare to play it? The sense that I get is that Activision isn't all that confident in their new Call of Duty. I have a feeling what they did is that they sat down and tried to figure out how they could maximize their profits. And while that's okay, they are a business, they are in here to try and make money, that's okay, they had a couple of options. The first option is separate them and allow the consumer the best consumer-friendly option, and that is to buy the product that they want. Do they want COD 4 Remastered? Okay, you're gonna spend the $20 or $30, whatever they decided on, to get that experience. Do you want COD Infinite? Okay, that's gonna be the normal $60. You can buy both, or you can buy none, or you can buy one over the other. If I had to take a guess, I'm assuming one of their fears is that if they did decide to go down this path and they split them into two different products, that there would be a large percentage of gamers that would forgo buying the new Call of Duty and just go buy the least expensive of the two, which is Call of Duty 4 Remastered. Maybe I'm completely wrong with this. They could be very confident in their new Call of Duty. I mean, this is Call of Duty that we're talking about. It is gonna sell like hotcakes regardless of what they do. And so maybe they're banking on the fact that people are already gonna buy their product, and the people that have been clamoring and asking for a Call of Duty 4 Remastered, and the people that are very excited about it, are just gonna kind of suck it up and spend the $80 or whatever your regional equivalent is to buy the full product. That also might be what they've kind of decided on, which of course is not consumer friendly whatsoever. And so I'm right there with you that I'm a little upset by this. They may change their policy in the future. Maybe after a couple of months when the game has released, they will allow you to buy the two separate versions. But it just rubs me the wrong way. I never like business policies or business practices that are not consumer friendly, and I would say that this falls into this category, and so I am right there with you. The next question comes from Michael, and it is, in Rainbow Six Siege, what do you think about an operator that has incendiary grenades as their gadgets? They would be able to throw them into a room and do small amounts of damage over time to defensive operators, but the flame wouldn't last more than a few seconds. I love this idea. If they decided to add in an operator that had access to incendiary grenades that you could really throw. I'm not just talking about how Smoke sort of lobs his gadget in front of him. I'm not talking about a small little lob. I'm talking about throwing this across the room like you could with frag grenades. this could be an absolutely incredible offensive operator that I would play all the time. What I like about this idea is that not only would it kind of change the meta a bit on some of the maps, but it would also allow you on offense to get the defenders to kind of move around and not stay hunkered down in one spot in their heavily fortified location. If you could throw this into a corner where you knew an enemy was located, he's going to either have to stand there and die or take an insane amount of damage, or run the risk of running out in the open, leaving himself exposed so that either you can kill him or do enough damage so that when he does reach his next camping spot, he is heavily injured. What I like about Molotovs and Counter-Strike Go, and while I know that Counter-Strike and Rainbow Six Siege are two different games, they play out differently, what I like about the Molotov grenades on offense when you're on Terra's side is that they are cheaper, and this indicates that Valve wants you to use Molotov grenades when you are on offense to flush out the enemy and change up those camping spots. If you just allow the defenders to sit in one spot the entire time and they have their defensive location, yeah, it's fine, that's cool, but it's nice when you have an option to be able to get them to move and not stay in that one spot. And while I do know that frag grenades sort of fulfill that function, if you had an operator that could just melt one side of the room, that would be incredible. And so I love this idea. I could honestly see, if done correctly and it wasn't blatantly overpowered, them adding this in to one of the future DLCs. I don't necessarily know why a operator would use this in a modern combat situation. Usually Molotov cocktails are not something that you would see in the arsenal of a police force or SWAT. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is used all the time and I have no idea what I'm talking about. But in a video game sense, this would be sweet. I think it could change up the meta. It would really dynamically shift how you approach some maps when you have this guy on your team, and also when you're on the defending side working against him. And so if done correctly, I think that this could be an amazing addition into Rainbow Six Siege. The next question comes from Icaro, and it is, what do you think about adding new weapons to the current operators in Rainbow Six Siege? I'm always for new weapons. I mean, you guys know me. I love variety. I like having more guns, but I would be very, very surprised if they did this. If they added guns for all of the operators, not just the new ones, but all of them, that would require a lot of time to make sure that all of it is well balanced. I think the game is in at least a decent spot when it comes to the operators and their strengths and weaknesses for why you pick them over the other based off of the weapons themselves. I pick the FAMAS on Twitch, and I play Twitch all the time because of the FAMAS. I play as certain operators because of their guns. You add in 20 more weapons, that's really going to shift things around. And while a lot of people may like this idea, they may think that this will breathe a breath of fresh air into Rainbow Six Siege, and is exactly what the game needs. This will then, for a couple of months, probably change things up a bit, where people are experimenting and figure out, okay, this operator now is slightly worse because this other one now has one of the better weapons in the game. Like, that could change up the dynamic, but from a balance perspective and a time investment, I just don't see the developers going down this path. And while I would love to have more weapon variety, you guys know me, I would be very, very surprised if we saw this in Rainbow Six Siege. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's Sunday Mailbox. I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you would like to submit your own question that could be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below or by sending me a Facebook and Twitter message. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.